if you think about CP3 and what we talk about, what do we talk about, KP? What do we talk about, Max? We talk about him being what I use as what I call the quintessential point guard, the kind of guy that comes out of the womb and looks tailor-made to play this position. And what is a true point guard? The true point guard is the person that makes the people around him better, that maximizes the skill set that's available to him, that peels out whatever exists inside of you to make you all that you can be, not just as an individual, but as a team. And when you look at it from that perspective, and you look at Phoenix right now, that's not what we're seeing. No matter how good DeAndre Ayton has been, there's something more you can get out of him. We need to see that. No matter how great Devin Booker has been over these last 2 games, there's certain things that he could do a little bit better, like his decision-making and not trying to play hero ball every single minute he's on the floor. The most glaring thing to me, Kendrick Perkins, about CP3, and Max and Molly knows where I'm going with this. My God, Cameron Johnson can shoot the damn basketball. How in God's name does this guy average 24 minutes a game this series? And over the course of 5 games, he's taken a grand total of 30 shots with his shot-making ability, shooting better than 45% from three-point range, better than 47% if I remember correctly. How in God's name does that guy not see the basketball? To me, I'm looking at CP3, I'm looking at Devin Booker, and they're looking to make plays, particularly for themselves, and this guy, Cameron Johnson, is standing out there wide open, waving for the ball, and neither of them find him. That's my issue with CP3 right now. Get Cameron Johnson the damn basketball. That's my issue.
Yeah, I mean, this is a debate show, but you're both right. You're both right. When the Suns were going real good, real well in the first couple games, everyone was touching the ball. That sometimes more than once on a possession, they were getting easy buckets, right? And it was like Chris Paul picked up in that sense where he left off in the last series. And Perk, you're right on about what you said, in my opinion. But I just want to point this out. And I know you're not saying it's written in stone, the series is over. You're saying he needs to wake up. But let me just point this out. These dudes are writing their legacies right now. The reason sports is the greatest programming, the reason it's the greatest reality TV, is that these legacies are it's not scripted. These guys write the script. And I'll remind everybody, in the conference finals, even like the Lakers are hurt, so they get by the Lakers. Denver's hurt. Denver didn't have a chance without Jamal Murray. Then no Kawhi Leonard. And it looked like still they might lose to the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard. Oh, no, Chris Paul, not this year. Even this year you can't get it done, even with this squad. And what was worse is he missed the first 2 games, and that's when they played their best basketball. And campaign looked great, and the offense looked great with him. Then Chris Paul comes back, and they look worse. Oh, no, this is going to be a disaster. You could have said the same thing about Chris Paul at that point in time. Then he came out in Game 6 and had one of the greatest performances you ever want to see to bring his team to the finals. He rewrote the script. He flipped the script just like that. So I'm saying, Perk, you're right about Chris Paul right now. I can't believe the foul on Giannis at the end of that game. And Stephen A., you say, well, it's a basketball play. Don't let him score. But there was no way he was going to stop him from scoring. He has to know that. You can't give him the ball back on the free throw line down 3 points with 15 seconds left. My point is this. He can still correct it. If he has a Game 6 like the one he had in the conference finals against the Clippers, this is going to a Game 7. He can win the championship. He is writing his legacy right now.
Yeah, look, Max and Stephen A., y'all both make good points, but let me educate y'all on what I was saying, and let me elaborate even more about what I'm talking about for us with Chris Paul, right? We all know how hard it is to get to the finals. Ask Chris Paul. It took him 16, 17 years to get there. He's finally there. What I'm saying is when you get to this moment, you have to embrace this moment. You have to feel this moment that like you'll never get this moment again. And right now when I'm watching CP3, he's not giving us that. Yes, okay, we know he could get the 20 and 10. He's just that good of a player. But when I talk about his leadership skills, when I talk about him being the enforcer from the point guard position, putting that dog into the whole team, putting that IQ into the whole team. Max, what you always talk about, when it matters the most, guess what? It matters the most. And right now, when you get down to the finals of Game 6, it's not about schemes. It's not about X's and O's. It's about who wanted the most. You look at Drew Holiday and you look at CP3, and to me, Drew Holiday wants it the most. I'm watching in Game 5, CP3 going stand in the corner in the fourth quarter, stand in the corner, shy away from the ball on the offensive end, not going to get the ball and set up a staggered double screen like he did, I believe, in Game 1 or Game 2 when he had DeAndre Ayton and he had Devin Booker setting the screen, Devin Booker getting a wide open shot assisted by CP3. I'm watching CP3 guard Cuttington in the corner on the defensive end while Drew Holiday is going to work. Why is you not taking this matchup personal at this moment when it matters the most, the biggest stage of the NBA Finals? This is what I'm asking for when I'm talking about CP3.
Well, I don't think, I have no problem with what you're asking for. I think all is reasonable, and these are things that we've come to expect from CP3. But I also think that we have to be realistic about the level of limitations that he may have. Kendrick Perkins, you even highlighted how Drew Holiday, the transition for this Milwaukee Bucks team was when Budenholzer put Drew Holiday on CP3 and was picking him up 75 to 90 feet. It talked about noticing those 36-year-old legs, talking about age and attrition kicking in, particularly when you got a guy that's younger, bigger, stronger, faster, guarding him. And so you've got that obstacle to deal with. Then you've got dudes on the interior that are trees in a Giannis Antetokounmpo, in a Brook Lopez, with a Bobby Portis coming off the bench. That's another impediment.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.